video is brought to you by our friends at privacy.com. Privacy is a tool that makes it super easy to protect your financial information when you're online. You decide who charges your card, how much and how often. If you like to shop online, Privacy protects your identity and bank information. Their service allows you to make a virtual card with just a click, and their browser extension automatically detects checkout fields on websites for a faster checkout. In addition to preventing credit card fraud, Privacy makes sure that you're never accidentally billed twice or upgraded to another service without your consent. It is by far the best way to sign up for free trials that require a card to be put down. No longer are you going to need to remember to cancel on time or worry about being billed for something that you're not even using anymore. Sign up for an account. New customers will automatically get $5 to spend on their first purchase. Go to privacy.com/Chael Sonnen to protect your online information and sign up now. Dana White, Oscar De La Hoya, one of my favorite battles in all fairness, but De La Hoya decides it's a good idea. Now, I don't know how many times De La Hoya has to get his ass beat by Dana. I respect it in De La Hoya. Generally, when a guy gets thumped to the thumpings that the boss is handing the Golden Boy, it's one time and you're out. This has lasted for 3 years. The Golden Boy just keeps on coming back. I don't know what happens in between bumps, but it must affect his memory because nobody is this resilient. De La Hoya didn't come back to Bernard Hopkins when Bernard put him down. I mean, just by example, it's not like Oscar has a history of constantly standing up and Dana just smashes him down every time. De La Hoya decides it's a good idea to send out a tweet speaking to Volkanovski, stating that Volkanovski is worth 20 times more than what Dana paid him. That is De La Hoya's statement. Fair enough. Couple of things you're going to have to know to have that opinion. Right? I know what you guys think. You think, well, everybody has the right to their opinion. Not necessarily. If you and I are having a debate and you'd like to step in and weigh in on it about what is better between Coke and Pepsi, but then it gets revealed to me that you've never had a Pepsi. Do you see where you don't then really get to have an opinion? An opinion really isn't something that everybody gets to have an opinion. Do you see where you really don't if you're a reasonable person? So for De La Hoya to have the opinion that Volkanovski is worth 20 times more than Dana's giving him, De La Hoya is going to have to know what Dana gave Volkanovski. Now, De La Hoya does not have better information than I have. And I don't know how much Volkanovski got. But nobody would till the whole thing's done because it gets to participate in the pay-per-views. In all fairness, you can't have an opinion on a guy's worth and a mathematical equation that he's worth 20 times it without knowing what it is. You just can't. You see where that gets silly? Now let's also compare the statement just on what we know between Oscar and Dana. One of them has a successful business. One of them doesn't. Who do you, the viewer, believe would have a more accurate depiction of what somebody should be paid? Now, I used to have to deal with this. In a different life, I was a real estate agent. And in all fairness to myself, I was great. I knew real estate inside and out. My sister was a real estate attorney and my father was a builder. I just kind of grew up in real estate, but I knew a lot about it. I had a specific house in Malala listed. Specific house. For a good friend of mine named Jana. I listed the property for $550,000. Jana's friend calls me, yelling at me. I never met the friend. Never met her in my life. Calls me up, yelling at me. And the friend was a mortgage broker. She thought she knew property. Yelling at me that property was worth $700,000. I was trying to get $550. She yells at me, telling me it's worth $700. I tell her, we will sell it to you today for $6. We'll leave the money on the table. We'll go by your numbers. We will let you have an instant $100,000 of equity based on your own numbers since you're such an expert in real estate. She didn't buy the house. I'm sure you could imagine. And I'm sure you could also imagine that if De La Hoya who does have a promotional company, says that Volk is worth 20 times more than Dana is paying him, that Dana should be able to step forward in conjunction with Volkanovski and say, okay, fair enough. Matter of fact, Oscar, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to let you have him for 10 times more than I'm paying him. I'm going to show you and I'm going to prove what I paid him. You said he's worth 20 times more. I will let you have him for 10 times more. Oscar would have to take him. He would have no choice. And that is going to be a humongous 8-figure check, just so you guys understand. And if that actually happened, that ridiculous scenario I actually just laid out, let's work it out one more time. Come with me, Alex. Get 20 times more. Dana steps in, says, we'll play ball, but we're going to do it for half as much. We'll do it for 10. If Oscar says yes and takes him at 10 times value, which is 10 times under the value that Oscar believes he's worth, which he just stated in writing, then you tell me, who here is the scumbag?